Ladies and gentlemen, so much going on in regards to Enzo Fernandez. We have to be on top of it. So, like, honestly, there's just it's crazy what you want to believe in regards to Enzo Fernandez at the moment. So, we'll definitely check in on that. And there's been a David Ornstein bombshell in regards to N'Golo Kante. I mean, is this midfield revamp really happening, or what's going on?
All right. Here we go, back again on the other side of the coin.
All right, welcome back to the other side of the coin, ladies and gentlemen. Let's get in on the act of all the latest things that's happening in Chelsea Football Club in regards to the transfer news. We're going to start from here and work ourselves towards the Enzo Fernandez update. Firstly, ladies and gentlemen, breaking news. This is from David Ornstein. Orny coming up with a dagger. Chelsea are making positive talks over a new contract for N'Golo Kante. I thought we were. I don't know what's going on. Like, this is why I don't like believing certain journalists. As until I see, information from David Ornstein or Fabrizio Romano, I really don't like paying attention on all these other bits and pieces of journalists that are out there, especially Nizak Kinsella in recent times, who've said that perhaps we're looking to part ways with N'Golo Kante. And now David Ornstein coming up and saying there's positive talks in regards to the contract for N'Golo Kante. Now, look, with me, as I said in recent times, I don't care. I don't care if we keep N'Golo Kante or if we keep Jorginho. But I'm at the same time thinking this is probably the right time to move away from them and build something for the future, as they say, the revamp of that midfield. Kante, if you look at his situation over the last 2 to 3 seasons, every season he's been injured for a lengthy period of time. This season, you might as well call it a write-off, because by the time he comes back, I think it's going to be end of February. And then how are we going to utilize him? He's much like that Reece James sort of situation where you have to be cautious. You're not going to be throwing him into the deep end as soon as he comes back in February, starts training, and let's say he starts getting match fit. You're not going to throw him in and get him started. It won't be until probably end of March where you start seeing him, get a starting position for Chelsea Football Club. So, what does it mean by the end of March? It could all be just done and dusted, or it could mean that we're fighting for top four and he's a particular player that could be the difference maker. But surely this is not the vision for N'Golo Kante. In order to keep him, surely this isn't what we envision sort of next season, thinking we're only going to get bits and pieces for N'Golo Kante. So, can we put our hand on our hearts for the last time and actually say, do you know what? There's probably going to be no more injury for him. This is it. We've done the rehabilitation the right way. We have done everything properly this time around, and all the issues that Kante had is all gone now, and it's all for the past. And moving forward, we shouldn't see these lengthy disruptions in his career anymore. Can we actually say that? If someone can guarantee me that, then fine. Let's go ahead and give him that contract extension, and let's keep him, because at the end of the day, he is an unbelievable player. I think if and when fit, he's a huge difference maker. There is no doubt about that. But the issue is, as I said, for the past 3 seasons minimum, he's not been fit for majority parts of the season. And, he's someone who earns a lot of money in Chelsea Football Club, so he takes up a lot of the wage bill. And we have to figure out what type of contract extension are we actually getting for N'Golo Kante right now. As it's saying over here, Chelsea are making positive talks over his new contract. He was looking for about 3 years plus 1. So he was looking for about 4 years contract, wasn't he? It makes sense. It'll be his last contract. It'd be great to see a player like Kante finishing up at Chelsea Football Club. But yeah, what type of contract? Are we happy to keep him for, let's say, for argument's sake, 3 plus 1 year? So that's 4 years. He's 31. He'll be 35. If he can stay on, if he can stay fit, then why not? I've got no issues with it. But I think the problem is the fitness. So, ladies and gentlemen, let me know how you feel about this situation with N'Golo Kante. For me, I've got no issues with the player. The player's a boss, but it's that injury that bothers me the most. Chelsea are trying to strengthen in midfield, and at least one new player is expected in January or next summer. Enzo Fernandez and Bellingham are concrete interest, whilst others under consideration include Rice, Caicedo, and Lavia. Caicedo, however you want to pronounce it, and Lavia. Interesting to note here, Enzo Fernandez and Jude Bellingham are concrete interest, while others are under consideration. I thought Declan Rice was one of the concrete interest. When did he become under consideration? It just makes me think, man, like with all these people that we've brought in, the likes of Christopher Vivell, Lawrence Stewart from Monaco, Vivell from Leipzig, and a whole heap of other people from Brighton. I don't know whether they truly fancy. I mean, I'm pretty sure they rate Declan Rice, but I don't know if they truly fancy Rice to fit in on what the club's vision is in terms of how they want to play, or what Potter wants to do as well, the system that he wants to play. Because all of these people, they'll sit down and they'll figure out exactly how they want Chelsea to play, and then obviously Graham Potter will do his level best to implement that. I don't think they actually envisage, Declan Rice being part of that particular system. So that's just my honest opinion on it. You can sit there and say, "No, that's not the case. This, that, the other." But why is David Ornstein then coming out and saying others under consideration when Declan Rice should be the top priority? But anyway, regardless, look, there's Caicedo, there's Lavia. Romeo Lavia is someone that's been talked about a lot. And this is something coming from Joe Shields as well. Another particular person, I think it was set up he was under the Man City setup, and then obviously went to Southampton, and he took Romeo Lavia there. Don't be surprised if Romeo Lavia is one of the players that comes through. But yeah, Enzo Fernandez and Jude Bellingham are the more concrete interest at the moment. Chelsea view N'Golo Kante as a legend and a popular figure. They always wanted him to stay and are actively working to find compromise. Now, let's have a look at all the Enzo Fernandez news, ladies and gentlemen. This is where it gets really, really spicy and exciting. Lots been going on in this particular news. There's Rui Costa apparently said a few things which Fabrizio Romano later came out and stated that, well, not Fabrizio Romano, Benfica themselves apparently made a statement saying that, Rui Costa never said any of these things. So first, let's have a look at what Rui Costa possibly said out there. And I don't know whether any of this is true or not, but, this is floating around. Benfica president Rui Costa, well, we will sell Enzo Fernandez in January only for the 120 million clause. We would not like to sell Enzo Fernandez in January, but we are willing to satisfy the boy in the event of an offer of 120 million. I told you guys in the latest stream that we did that if Enzo Fernandez wants to leave, then Benfica will be forced to accept that release clause. However, Benfica's official statement on Enzo Fernandez, this is what they said. We insist saying that our intention is to keep Enzo here until the end of the season. Benfica clarified that our president, Rui Costa, never spoke to Dan's about the situation of Enzo Fernandez. I mean, these guys, they are rattled. They are a little bit rattled. For them to come out and officially make a statement on this particular matter, it's I don't know, man. I find it a little bit strange. But on one side, you've got Rui Costa apparently stating that they'll make sure the transfer happens, and as long as 120 million release clause is paid, and if this is what the player wants, then they'll be happy. But then the official statement saying that no, Rui Costa didn't say anything like that, and they definitely want to keep Enzo Fernandez till the end of the season. Very recently, this is what's getting retweeted around from this particular individual called Gaston Edul. I don't know who he is, but every other Chelsea sort of news outlets are retweeting this. And he said something like this: Chelsea is positioned as the team most interested in buying Enzo Fernandez and wants to activate the exit clause. And then a record Portugal, Dario Record, 390k followers, huge outlet out there. Enzo Fernandez is inclined to leave Benfica in January and accept Chelsea's proposal. Look, ladies and gentlemen, I think there's something brewing. There is something brewing. Where there's smoke, there is fire. There's no doubt about that. Whether this happens is obviously the biggest issue. Release clause, when does it expire? We don't know anything about the release clause as yet. I think Chelsea is really exploring this. They're really exploring this. And as I said, if Enzo Fernandez pushes Benfica to do this, I think it will get done. Now, I know there's a whole heap of talk about financial fair play and is what's going to happen. Can Chelsea pay all that money? I think Chelsea's reluctant to pay the entire release clause in one hit. They want to pay in installments. That's what's going to save us from the financial fair play. And that's what Benfica needs to accept. I think Chelsea are even willing to pay even more than the release clause as long as it's done in installments. So look, Benfica, this is what I have to say. At the end of the day, you've got yourself a golden asset. Whether you get this level of money for this player again, don't be foolish. Please do not be foolish. Look at Erling Haaland. They had the opportunity to sell him to Chelsea when we were looking to get him, but they priced him out at 150 million euros or pounds, whatever the case is, when we were bidding somewhere around 120, 130. At the end of the day, what did Man City get Haaland for? 65, 70 million pounds, something like that. This is the thing. Same thing with Enzo Fernandez. Benfica, please never ever think that Enzo Fernandez was going to stick around with your football club. Yes, you probably expected him to stick around a little longer, but you found yourself an absolute golden asset that the world is looking at because of the fantastic World Cup that he's had, and also prior to the World Cup, the brilliant sort of season he was having in the Champions League. So you've now got to make the right decision. You're a selling club. That's what you've always been. And right now, you're in shot to make a big money, and you could potentially screw this up. You may not see this level of money for Enzo Fernandez again. You may still see if once the release clause does expire, you may see a bidding war. But I don't think there's any clubs that are willing to go beyond what Chelsea's willing to pay, which is about 105 million pounds. I don't think you're going to get 110, 120, 130 in that vicinity once the release clause is over. You're going to get a bidding war, which potentially could start around 70 million, and maybe it might rise up to 90, 95 million. But right now, you're probably going to be able to make the most out of Enzo Fernandez, I believe, personally. But ladies and gentlemen, let me know what you think about this situation. For me, this player is just sensational. He's sensational. He's one of the best in the midfield area, and just completely transforms us. Last but not least, ladies and gentlemen, Chelsea are progressing fast on a deal for Monaco's Benoit Badiashile. Personal terms have already been agreed with the French defender. This is from Ben Jacobs. Look, we're going to see this happening very, very soon in the January transfer market. As soon as it opens, I'm pretty sure Badiashile will get done. For me, how important was it to get a LCB left-sided centre-back? I don't really know. I could see how we needed this for the future, if we're thinking, players like Azpilicueta and Thiago Silva could move on, and there could be question marks around Koulibaly. But right now, I don't see any need. But maybe this was an opportunity, and Chelsea want to seize that opportunity right now and pounce on it. But yeah, we definitely need to ensure that we get that right-sided player. Reece James is backup. And yeah, if we can get Enzo Fernandez in January, oh my days. Ladies and gentlemen, hope you guys have enjoyed this. Smash the like button if you have. If you're here for the first time, subscribe, hit the bell notification to stay in touch with all my content. And I shall see you guys sometime tomorrow early with another live stream. Smash the like button, as I said, and hit the bell notification before you go. Till next time. See ya.